As invoices are due at the end of the project or is otherwise agreed upon. Who we're agreeing with, I don't know.
It's with OPWC. They make you do it as invoiced.
Okay.
But the one that I'm concerned about is your certificate that says that funds. I mean,
right now the funds are covered.
Right, but that means those funds are designated. If we don't take the loan, the $77,000 we're certifying through Kevin will go to that project. It can't go to anything else. So, I mean, that's on the day you submit it. He's not writing checks for that money unless something else comes in. So I think it's difficult for him to certify that given the needs of the public works if we don't have this loan committed to. So that's the point. But the motion that we made was that we authorize the mayor and the fiscal officer to execute a loan agreement with Fifth Third per the proposal, so long as Fifth Third agrees to waive the $1,000 fee should the village not actually accept the money. You should be a lawyer, Renee.
I should.
Channeling is good.
Thank you.
And the ever lovely Mr. Move that.
Quote her.
And did we have a second? Oh, second. Thank you. You're welcome.
Discussion or questions?
If we, now that we've submitted and gone ahead to move this process, if we're accepted, we're out, we're basically stuck having to take this loan to pay the bills.
The way you're set up, yes.
Say that again?
There's no way, what I'm trying to say, to clarify a little better, is that we don't have $70,000 in the general fund right now to pay this. I guess I'm looking at the wrong person. Would we have, if we don't take this loan for whatever reason, are we going to have the money to cover this?
As of June 30th, there is sufficient cash balance within the street maintenance fund and the permissive motor vehicle license fund to make the payment, the gross $77,000. I doubt that we'd have to come up with the 77 or whatever it turns out to be up front. They may bill monthly, they may bill quarterly. You may get lucky and they bill at the end.
And I guess my other question was more for you, and that is that once we apply to this, which is what we basically passed earlier as an emergency, that we're going to go ahead and apply to this, we're on the hook for that money.
You're basically saying you want the grant awarded to you. If you get a grant award, I think there are circumstances under which you can refuse the grant, but when you put it in, you're saying you're going to get the grant.
Okay. But if we get the grant and we decide a later date because, for whatever reason, before the actual shovels hit the dirt, we can wiggle out of it.
I can't say that with certainty because I haven't seen this particular grant. Some you can, some you can't. If you have a fiscal emergency, they would say they're not going to make you participate where you can't pay them. But by and large, something like that would be needed to get out of the award. Because they're looking at all the projects across the state, and if you're not going to actually do it, it's unfair to other jurisdictions who then wouldn't get the money for their project. So that's why they have you certified. I mean, in our application process, it's not just, hey, we'd like to have this money. There's a certification that we have the money and we will commit it to this project.
So this is the final part of that without this loan where the money's not certified.
No, we actually today can certify the money and will certify the money because we do have the money. However, if we don't take the loan, there's other things in public works that could not get done, obviously, because then that money is earmarked to this project. But the certification says that we have this money and that money will be used for this project. So it is relatively binding.
said, I still can't get my head around why we would take out a loan when all our trends are predicting our income going down. You know, signing up for another $1,200, almost $1,300, $1,250 a month bill just to improve a one-lane road. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's
It's
just
a
where
two-lane
I'm
road. There's just one of them functional now.
Well, it's not painted. It's only painted 2 lanes in the village. Once you get out of town, the center line disappears.
We're working on it.
Well, going with Davie Township, it's for the whole shoot match up there at Chapel. That's in the village, correct?
Doesn't cross over Chapel.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that corner of the old folks home there, it's in the village. I don't believe that's double lined. It's been a while since I don't think it's double lined. I think it's only double lined right there at the beginning by church, or right by the beginning by the church. I mean, I can't give sorry. I can't get my head around it. That's really all I got to say about it. I've already said that before, so I'm done.
Kevin, if we get this loan, where will it go into the general fund, or will it go into public works?
Neither will go into a dedicated debt service fund. That's my understanding. We may have to create a special Church Street fund to disperse the $70,000 out, but any payments on the fund, we basically have to transfer the money out of street maintenance and MVL into a debt service fund and then pay from there. That's state rules.
I'm with Chuck. I don't feel comfortable with our current
The
numbers, but let me ask you a question. Is there a portion, a dollar amount that we could take from public works that wouldn't be too devastating to bring that number down? From 70 to 50, or, do we?
As I said, right now, the cash balance on the two funds is around 78 or 79,000. Every month, we do receive checks from the state that get distributed to those funds. Those revenues have, interestingly enough, been fairly consistent, even with the high gas prices. People are still getting their cars licensed. They're still buying gasoline and diesel fuel and whatever. So at a local level, there's no property tax involved in this. It's strictly gasoline tax, motor vehicle license tax, and those are the majors. We get a portion of the flat. I want to say it's like $55 is the flat license fee in Ohio, and I believe the village has a $5 fee on top of that. Claremont County has a $5 fee, and so we get that in addition to the portion of the state's $55 or whatever it may be. A small portion, 7.5% of the gasoline tax that's being paid to the county or the village is being put into the state highway maintenance fund because it's in a negative position, and that was something that was set up by Mr. Gilpin before I came on. If we get lucky, at the rate things are going, that fund will be in a positive situation possibly by the end of October, which would enable us to use some of that money as well to help make payments.
Yeah, that was my next question. Would it come out of the general fund, or?
The general fund will have no obligation to this unless the other funds can't cover it.
The other piece of it is, but
I'd like to know, I was thinking the excavator ends this year, which is your 600 and something more, so. I know that if Kevin could check it for us real quick.
I think it's worth looking.
Take me 3 minutes.
Yeah, if you could do
Well,
that.
spend 3 minutes.
take a 3-minute recess.
It does. The 634
3
is
minutes. It did take you 3 minutes. Good call.
questions on the bottom of the stack. The 600 and some is the River Hills payment, the GE payment, $897.26. It's taken electronically on the 4th of each month. And unfortunately, the invoice does not give any information about when it matures. But I'm thinking that Mr. Campbell may be correct about the how long before it expires.
Yeah, I remember we financed it for 1 year to buy out. So.
So that was almost $900 payment?
$897.26, call it $900.
Okay. So we're looking for a $350 difference.
Yeah.
That's a little easier to.
Yeah, and that's what I was that we were talking about, that since we have the 77,000 is already in the street fund, and correct me when I'm wrong. And so, but we need, since we will be spending that the loan and or vice versa is to replenish that. Now, let's say at the end of the year, next year, we have a surplus and we pay off, I'm just going to put a number out there so we can't use a number, 50,000, and we pay that loan off, or partial of it early to where, let's say, then it left us the 27,000. Is that something we could do?
I'd have to check with Fifth Third. I don't think they would have a prepay penalty, just off the top of my head. If for no other reason than the interest rate they're charging is so low. And personally, I think the Fed's going to raise interest rates by the end of the year. So Fifth Third would, gladly take $50,000 now than wait 5 years to get it.
And I did have one other thought while we were at recess there just recently. I know I've been reading between the lines. Sounds like Ricky wants a new dump truck. That's what, $40,000. We're going to tie up $70,000 and looking at paying it off early next year. I'm not sure the money's going to be there, and that's part of my concern.
I think that was just a hopeful thought.
Yeah, I know it's a
And
hopeful thought.
he also said that he's going to get another year out of it after that.
No, that too. That's true. So who knows? But, it makes it sound awfully bad. Just a random
Exactly, but
food for thought.
it's the same way with the excess and the 33,000 in the police fund. That's wishful thinking too. So we can.
Rick and council would have the options of fully replacing that Chevy truck with a new one. I know in the County Commissioners magazine, very often counties are selling equipment, 50% off new. Quite often what they're selling them for is less than what you'd see in the Blue Book or something. The other option, if push comes to shove, would be to enter into a 1-year lease or something with Beachmont Ford or Southwestern Equipment or someone for a truck until finance is allowed a permanent replacement. So there are options out there.
The honest to goodness truth on our truck situation. We have one truck that was purchased that we barely use. It's more truck than we need, and it mostly sits. Okay. The one truck that is in so much need of repair, one of the reasons in so much need of repair is because it's the one that gets all the work. Okay. So the truck that is in good repair, it's overkill. It's more than what we need. I think Tim could speak to this a little bit more thoroughly than I could, but and it would be my recommendation, even going into next year, that there be no purchase of a dump truck. We have a perfectly good truck sitting there. It's overkill. According to Rick, it's overkill for our need, but we have it, we own it, and we're paying for it now. Could you expand on that a little bit? Tim was involved in. Tim has a background in truck fleet maintenance and management, and he spent some time with Rick on our truck situation a while back, and he could probably enlighten us.
Yeah, they call it Little Blue, but it's a big truck. It's an international dump truck. It's been converted into a snowplow. The thing is, it is overkill for what we use in the village. You got two options. Right now, we don't owe anything on it. We can use it for what for what our need is. The other option is you turn around and see what its value is trying to sell it. Then you turn around and see if you have an idea where you can get something else that it's more fitting to the village with very little money out. Use it a couple different ways. But right now, I would opt to keep it. It's very little maintenance. And international, so you don't have that much maintenance. We found out when we get to the Fords and Chevys, and we're up there, they're not holding up like the other ones do. This is a commercial truck. The Fords and Chevys, they're more just the residential type, for the single owner. So there's two options, but I would opt to keep it at least for now. Because I think we have right around 30,000+ invested in it, with the plow, lights, and everything. We would probably lose 50% of that trying to retail it or trying to sell it.
You lose some efficiency by only having that truck available to yourself, but a poor purchase was made, and it is what it is. So we're not going to, if the Chevy truck breaks down and it's unrepairable, it would be my recommendation to not buy a new truck. We have a truck that's out there that can do the job. I think we're still in the middle of discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we had discussion, questions, and we have more discussion before we move to a roll call. Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Hart.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Mr. Pollock.
Yay.
Mr. Rosser.
Yeah.
Mr. Thacker.
No.
5-1.
Thank you.
Passes.
Mayor, can I do one more thing?
No, you can't.
Yeah, you're gonna just like.
You already said one more one time.
I know.
I'm still trying to catch up on the ordinances.
Just think how much we got done. We actually need an executive session to discuss pending litigation. Shouldn't take very long.
Yes. At this time, I entertain a motion from council to convene to executive session at 8:38 p.m.
Make a motion. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Hart.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yay.
Mr. Pollock.
Yay.
Mr. Rosser.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be back quickly. We ask the solicitor to join us.
I'm not brain dead. I'm stuck. Yeah, just sleep.
All right. This time, I entertain a motion to return from executive session at 8:53 p.m.
So moved. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Yay.
Mr. Hart.
Yay.
Ms. Gerber.
Yep.
Mr. Pollock.
Yay.
Mr. Rosser.
Yeah.
Mr. Thacker.
Yeah.
Back on the agenda here. Next item on the agenda is public input.
I don't see why I just leave that off.
Oh, everybody jump up
For dramatic effect. Next item on the agenda
I got
is
enough for you already, that's ordinance, it's like time.
council input.
One thing I've got is kind of send an email to the mayor about the Public Works Department. If we want to consider maybe making that part-time instead of doing a full-time position. I don't know what skills for the people who applied. I guess they need, what, a CDL, and that's about it? Or
It's not really required. It's not required to drive their truck.
Okay. I mean, even possibly 2 part-timers to replace the full-time, and that way we'll avoid some extra costs that way. So just wanted to throw that out there when they're interviewing. I don't know, have you interviewed yet, or?
Ricky has conducted the preliminary interviews. He's got it narrowed down. He gave me a list of 4 candidates he liked the best. I asked him to narrow it down to his top 2. And I have interviews set with those people this Friday.
Okay. So that was one thing I thought of. If we want to save a little, that's the opportunity to do that without them leaving, you know.
Not a bad idea. I do have one other thing. Give us some thought, and actually I called the mayor today and gave him some idea of what I was going to say, and means I got 5 months left in my term. I've decided to resign as the Fiscal Finance Committee chairperson, and I just think that at this point in time, it's moving forward. Someone that's going to be here after the first year, maybe they can join the team and proceed further. I had someone in mind. I'd like to make a recommendation.
Is this Finance Committee or Finance?
This is finance.
Yeah.
And, I'd like to make a recommendation. Chuck Thacker.
When do you guys meet?
Normally 6 o'clock, like it would have been this evening, the first meeting.
So it would have been
We'll
on
probably
Mondays
have
or
a special
Tuesdays?
It would have been Monday.
Monday.
Coming up and go over the budget and stuff, so we'll have a special meeting probably before our next meeting.
I'll do it assuming I can clear the work. And then what?
I knew you was
Those
going to say
well, those are the 2 important things to clear it with, aren't they?
say that. Well, I agree with Tim to put Thacker on the Finance Committee. However, what kind of a problem do you think you're going to have?
I don't think I'll have much of a problem.
Well, then I would make a motion that he's been appointed as chairman of the fire, and we'll put,
What was that?
I'm as bad as
I think
a couple other people.
Don't you make the appointment?
Yeah, I can make the appointment.
Okay.
But if the committee has, I mean, if council has a recommendation, I'm certainly okay with hearing the
Well, I
recommendation.
go along with Tim.
It sounds, Chuck, are you prepared to accept the position this evening?
Yeah, as long as nobody will kill me if I have to renege on it next meeting, or I'll let you know sometime in the next day or 2.
Council,
Sounds good to me.
Just shoot me an email.
Okay. But I'm good. If you don't hear from me, I'm good to go. Because I'm 99% for sure I'm good to go. I just want to run it by work. That's not easy to do tonight, really. I just threw the wife on there for fun.
All right, just cars and trucks.
All right, so, go ahead.
In related to that, Mr. Rosser mentioned about the budget, something I neglected to mention earlier. There is a discrepancy between how much the reduction in the local government fund will actually be for the first portion of the state budget year. The gentleman's name slips my mind at this time, but he's the president of the state controlling board, which makes the final decisions on distributing state money. He was at the Hamilton County Municipal League meeting last Thursday, and I attended that. And he says the reduction's closer to 15%. for the first year. I did some quick figuring, and I saw how he got his 15%. He's looking at the full 12 months, what it would be, then just the 6 months for the second half, and that's just 15%, or thereabouts. But anyways, that will be reduced up to 25%. We're still looking at maybe only 79,000 to 85,000.
This in the LGF.
Yeah, the local revenues next year. In addition, the state budget bill for the village of Amelia, we're one of the lucky villages. The village will immediately no longer receive any reimbursements for the phase out of the tangible personal property tax, nor will the village receive any money for the kilowatt hour tax. They are both ending as of Friday at 7:58 p.m. when the governor signed the bill. So, in between the two of those, that's a relatively 15 or 20,000 per year between the two of those. You had good timing, Tim.
I get annoyed when I hear the state officials saying how they've balanced their budget. They did it on the backs of local governments.
Well,
That's how they did
No
it.
question about that.
the interesting thing is they started out claiming they had an $8 billion deficit. They waved their magic wand and said, oh, it's only $6 billion. So the budget they passed is $5 billion higher than last year. Something just didn't add up in my mind. If they're fighting a deficit, why did they increase the budget?
Just basically takes everything back from local government. So taxes will rise, but they have to rise on the local government level.
And the chances of that happening
They're not existing.
are very slim,
Yep.
at least you know, the property levy part. But still worth a shot.
What's worth a shot?
Well, the village has three options: earnings tax, property tax, or Goodnight Marie.
Has Marie got any money?
She's broke.
Well, as soon as we get a couple of figures
These have to be approved.
from current figures,
When they have to be approved on.
We need to act on it by the 15th and submit to the auditor by the 20th.
So do we need
Yes,
to get
Mr.
it
Mayor.
now? Correct.
Well, today's the 5th, so you got 10 days to act on the county budget.
Before we meet again.
Yeah.
So we meet on the 18th. Yeah.
That's why I said special meeting somewhere in between.
Tell me what you want me to do tomorrow, either payroll or budget numbers, and I'll do it.
One of the things that Kevin and I talked about last week, and I alluded to it in the past. The leaner times get for us, and that you get leaner every day. The more important his job becomes, and the more time it takes for him to do the job. Now, I will say that I know that Kevin has given us more time than he's being paid for. Every time we ask him for one of these analyses to take, to be able to give council the opportunity to make a decision, takes him away from doing the job that he's here to do, which is to pay the bills and process payroll, et cetera. Just want council to bear that in their mind. Bob, you were interrupted there very rudely by Tim Rosser, I might add.
That's right.
I don't know if we
To
could
do
do
what?
finance special meeting.
He interrupted you. Tim, you should be offended. If I have to remind you about it, you were traumatized, clearly.
It'd be all right.
Monkey
Are you gonna be okay?
I think so.
Because I figured we were gonna have a meeting,
All right, any other council input this evening?
just need to see if we need to schedule a special meeting for finance committee.
Well, I can't think of anything important that needs to be talked about from a financial standpoint.
I don't know.
All that Goodnight Marie business coming up. Yeah.
So I guess we've already discussed it, right? Marie has all the answers.
Yeah, I think we wish.
So when are you available, Bob?
I'm available most any time.
This weekend's bad for me. So you have to be next week.
Kevin and
I'm good anytime after 2.
Next week may be shaky for me. We'll see. I could do something in the evening, I'm sure.
Something I can do, do all of you access your email through the village, or do you have personal emails? Because when I get the numbers done, I
Through the
can,
village.
okay, I can send whatever I have email to you. At least you have a chance to look it over before the meeting.
I'd say like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday next week in the evening. So we got wrapped on Monday, so. And I'll be at the Kentucky Speedway all weekend, so.
that'd be a good place for a meeting. That'd be a good place for a
Yeah, we
finance
can do
meeting.
that.
Gonna be there 3 days? Gonna be a blast. Gonna be a big blast. I would like to go.
The mayor can get with us on what day a special meeting we need to have, so we can.
You waiting for me to do something?
No, I'm waiting for them to see if they come up with a meeting date, and then maybe we can schedule a special meeting while we're all here. But they can't
When would we?
come up with a meeting date.
So we want to go over the budget again? We need to adjust it, or? Because aren't we running on something we've already approved, and it's just a matter of submitting what we've approved with some minor tweaks?
What's been submitted so far is just my recommendations. Council has to actually go through and say, this is what we believe is going to happen. Fortunately, the preliminary budget is not to the same level of detail as the actual appropriations. I just need to know if you think the numbers I've come up with are fair and are way out in left field, if we should boost here, cut there, what have you.
Because we're basically have to have it to her. What's the day we have to have it to her by?
The 20th.
The 20th.
Yeah,
Or is
but
it-
approved by the 15th.
By the 15th. So we've got
10 days.
10 days. I don't know if there's time to get a finance committee and a council meeting in there.
Sure there is.
It'll
There's
have
10
to be.
days.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Okay.
I think
Well, that's my thought was just
It's
email
not
it out
rocket
to
science,
everybody,
eh?
see if
I
anybody
can
has
do that
any
too.
suggestions or complaints. Just have one meeting
Yeah,
to go.
Wednesday, I'll do best
We can do
meeting
that.
on Thursday.
Well, not, I
I'm
don't
just
know if you heard
advising.
what I was thinking or not. Where I was going with it is I was saying it's just blast it out to everybody, have everybody look at it, see if there's any suggestions, anything, and come to one meeting and just approve it or not approve it. I mean, I can't imagine we're not going to approve it.
Now, we did make quite a few adjustments to last year's budget.
And keep in mind that this budget is primarily setting tax rates and such, letting the county auditor know that, hey, we anticipate this much in tax revenues, we anticipate this much in expenses. Let us keep our 7 mil police level at least 4.9 actual or something to that effect. And then she'll present it to the Budget Commission, who can accept or reject the whole thing or any part of it. Then come December, January is when you have to go through the actual appropriations. But right now it's kind of an early warning to the county auditor to let them know what sort of revenues and expenses we believe we'll have.
So this is for 2012.
Yes, sir.
So this is just a preliminary. So this one isn't like our final. This is
No, this is a roadmap, if you will.
I got a lot to learn. But this is our wish list.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm kind of the mindset we just take a quick look at it because I don't think we've got enough time to really sit down and do anything with it at finance. I mean, I can't
You know,
see.
right now, I'm looking at just zero change for all intents and purposes. There may be some things that we know have happened this year that we may be able to get rid of for next year. Big change is, what the chief comes up with on, his police budget, what he thinks he can live with and such.
But we still got plenty of time to make those changes.
Yeah, this, as I said, this is just, we believe we're going to be getting this much money, we believe we'll be spending this much. And then the, as I said, Budget Commission will make the final decision on total revenues available. The county auditor will certify the tax rates to the Budget Commission, who will then certify them officially. And once we have those, what's known as a certificate of resources will be issued, and that, since we're talking about loans, that certificate of resources becomes our line of credit. We cannot exceed what's on that certificate of resources as far as appropriations.
But we can't really ask for. Can we ask for more money? We're not going to get more money. We can't go. We get our police levies at 4.9%. We can't go. Let's raise that to 10.
No, you can only go up to the voted amount, and then that's all determined
Through the county.
The tax commissioner actually sets those numbers. I'm not familiar. Well, it's a moot point because it doesn't exist. But if there's anything that's discretionary by the Budget Commission as far as revenues, we can put in the budget, hey, we're going to need this, and we may get a little more from that discretionary distribution. We may not. You're going to have every village and township in the county saying they need it too.
Yeah.
But as I said, the budget submitted to the county auditor is just the grand picture of what is anticipated. And it can change dramatically between now and January 1st. And hopefully the numbers I'm using will be on the low side.
Hopefully.
So, finance meeting Tuesday, special meeting Thursday.
Pizza Friday.
Sounds like a plan.
You're gonna bring a pizza.
Say yes, no.
Chuck's thinking.
I'm whatever. As long as it's in the evening, I can do whatever. I was just thinking if it's going to be, because like I said, Derek said he was going to be out of town. If we're going to be tight on time,
It's
maybe we
Tuesday.
just
Still 10 days.
Tuesday. Okay.
Tuesday, I'm
7
making a
o'clock.
command decision.
7
I ain't even on finance committee, but I'm gonna make a decision for you.
Tuesday at 7?
That's fine.
Special meeting on Thursday.
Do it same night?
When's the court?
We could do it
That's
the
what I
same
was
night.
thinking. We
Yeah,
could
that's
do
what
it
I'm
together.
thinking. Yeah.
Let's do it the same night, then you guys want to
Just make
Can
it-
you guys come at 6 and we'll have a meeting at 7?
Do that.
I have to check on 6. I may
6,
struggle-
6:30, 6.
I may struggle to make 6. I know I can make 7. 6:30 I could probably do. We could do councilman.
Kevin, how much time?
We'll do a special meeting.
Yeah.
I email everything out to you, just depending on how much you guys have to talk.
Special meeting 7:30.
Because the form I actually submit to the county auditor will be different than what I give you. Because I want you to have as much detail as possible. The auditor just,
Numbers.
yeah. I mean, the budget worksheet, each fund on the worksheet has 40 or 50 lines, but what's submitted to the county auditor maybe has 15 lines.
We used to be able to do it in about 30, 40 minutes and get through it, so I think that's pretty.
Basically, all we did was like, we think we need more over here, take it from here and
Right.
move it to there.
Special meeting,
7:30 council meeting?
7:30.
Make a motion, special meeting 7:30 to discuss and
It's on what date?
vote on.
Tuesday the 12th. Second that motion.
Okay. and second?
7 p.m.
7:30.
7:30.
Special meeting, 7:30, finance, 6 o'clock.
Or whatever.
We need to vote on it. We need to have a vote. and-
I had a motion.
Any other discussion before we move to roll call? Roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell,
Yay.
Mr. Hart,
Yay.
Ms. Gerber,
Yay.
Mr. Pollock,
Yeah.
Mr. Rosser,
Yay.
Mr. Thacker.
Yeah.
Passes.
Thank you. Any other council input this evening? We have any update or any idea what direction council is thinking in terms of the police department and the future of the police department?
Kind of look at some new numbers that we received tonight.
Like I said before, I'd stick with it till we have one cop and one car.
I'm with Bob.
Long as it says
That's what we got
Amelia-
now.
Long as it says Amelia on the side.
That's what the state requires. The state doesn't even require the car.
That's what, well, that's go through it.
And he is getting the bicycle fixed.
Bike,
so-
whatever.
Oh, hey, there we go.
A couple segues.
We could probably
and
put
be
a
on good.
wheel on there, we could shoot the bike instead of the car.
Center bar.
Yeah, there we go.
That'd be cool, though.
We could even hang a radio on that too, I bet.
Get a little bicycle siren.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bell. I got it.
They'll bring in there. One of them cranks.
That'd take 2 men. One to ride the
I
bike
think,
and the crank siren.
On the police.
No.
That's it.
Entertain a motion to adjourn at 9:17 p.m.
I make a motion.
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned at 9:17. Thank you.